Hi, this is Josh from Tick Tick Tick. It's Monday night on the first day of the last week of the UN climate talks in Doha. The more technical negotiating tracks closed on Sunday, a little bit later than expected. Ministers arrived over the weekend, and now it's time for the difficult political work. The backdrop is grim. Just a few hours from now, a major typhoon is set to hit the Philippines. Super Typhoon Bopa, they're calling it. The Philippines' lead negotiator said, "We're moving toward Christmas and midnight mass, maybe just for the dead." Those are pretty heavy words, and surely millions of people are going to be affected. The last superstorm to hit a populated region was Superstorm Sandy in the U.S. just a few months back. That one event caused $80 billion in estimated damages and took 100 lives, more than 100 lives. While we're only beginning to understand the scary links between extreme weather and climate change, we've long understood that extreme weather, increases in frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, are just the tip of the iceberg. So compare $80 billion for one event to $10 billion per year pledged by the countries that created climate change to support countries that are still focused on poverty alleviation, developing countries, in cutting their emissions and protecting their communities against the effects of climate change. It's clear that the costs of inaction are much more than the cost of action. But there's no clarity on climate finance over the coming years, so it makes sense why developing countries are concerned and frustrated, and why there's tension in the talks. The other big political issue ministers will have to tackle is ambition. Blocs of countries like the EU have used potential increases in their ambition as bargaining chips to get others to act. There's some questions about the integrity of their emissions commitments, with loopholes in some of what they said they would do. The U.S. is on track to meet its emissions goals, but it has woefully inadequate emissions targets, so even hitting those goals don't get us near far enough. And countries like India and China, or the Gulf states here in the Middle East, they'll need to take significant action as well. No amount of developed country emission reductions are going to keep us from avoiding, or going to help us keep us from runaway climate change. So everyone will have to participate. So in the coming days, we expect to see ministers and negotiators try and squeeze out as much ambition as they can from their counterparts. They'll try and seek clarity on finance over the coming years, and in both cases, try and find pathways for ambition and finance to scale up. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow we'll be back with Heather, and we'll tell you more. Thanks.